Hola, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be talking about when waiting for the one gets hard. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really like to wait, and if you're watching this video, then you might have difficulties with waiting as well. But know this, a good decision can quickly become a bad decision if it's not according to the right time. So in today's video, we're going to go over some tips of how we can make the most of waiting when it comes to areas of relationships. Because a lot of us have this desire to court and get married. I mean, God placed this desire in us, but let's keep it 100. At times, it can be difficult. And matter of fact, let's keep it 110. It can be hard watching others around you get the opportunities to court while you've been waiting years getting yourself together. It can be hard dealing with the urges and temptations and try not to get an envious spirit. So let's get into these tips. Number 1, accept that waiting is part of the journey. Waiting is a part of life. We wait for trains and buses and long lines and callbacks from jobs. But the issue is we live in a generation that likes instant gratification, instant results to happen when we want it to happen, and life just doesn't work that way. And the quicker you understand that, the more you empower yourself to wait for that. Waiting is just part of the journey that leads you to what you want. The very fact that you have to wait must mean that there's an end destination or a destiny worth waiting for. Number 2, make the most of this season. What are you doing now to redeem the time of this period that you're in? Are you working on your temper, your cooking, your finances? Don't be so busy waiting for that day that you fail to make the most of today. You will never get this time again where you can just focus on you and bettering yourself, building yourself up. Work on yourself emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. Use your time meaningfully and productively. Are those words? I hope so. Number 3, use this time to examine yourself. Let me tell you something. Waiting is the teacher that's going to tell you about yourself. Your character, your attitude, your spirit will be revealed in this time. And I understand, of course, waiting is hard, but how are you responding to it? Are you mad at the Lord? Are you a jerk or insensitive? Because sis over there, even though she had a failed courtship a year ago, she's now proving someone else now already? Check your spirit. Number 4, take your eyes off of self. One of the best things you can do this period is take your eyes off yourself and look on how you can help other people. Maybe a new mother needs help around the house, or maybe a sister might want company to go run some errands. Either way, use this time to build someone else and help make their life a little easier to get your mind off of just yourself. Number 5, rushing the process leads to underdone results. I remember once when I was back home, I had a major sweet tooth, right? I wanted something so sweet, but we didn't have anything sweet in the house. So, of course, I knew I could have looked online and looked up different recipes with things that I had in the house, but I didn't have time for that, honey. I wanted something now. So I got some random ingredients that I know what I needed. I wanted to make a cookie. I wanted to make an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie. Don't ask me why. That's just what I wanted at the time. So I did it. I put all the ingredients I thought together. I didn't measure anything. I just put them all together, made the cookies, put them in the oven at whatever degree. I think it was 350 because that's standard in my head. Left it in there until I thought it was ready, took it out, and it was literally the most disgusting thing I ever had in my life, y'all. Like, it was so nasty. It didn't look bad. It looked appealing. It looked like it had very much potential to taste good. But once I took a bite into that thing, that thing was nasty. If I took the time to look up a good recipe and follow the instructor's directions, I would have had a good dessert, but I didn't. I chose to go my own route and ended up with an underdone dessert. Though it looked set, it was actually really mushy and just underdone when I broke it. Don't wait until the point where you feel so broken that you settle for an underdone relationship. You don't want something that may seem enticing at first. It may seem like it has a lot of potential. It might seem appealing to the eye, but once you take a bite into it, it just leaves a bitter taste in your mouth. Each step towards the final result is crucial. Number 6, don't compare yourself to others. Yes, that sister might have just started proving recently or courting recently, but you don't know what's going on in her life behind the doors. You don't know why God might need her to have this experience right now. So how dare you do yourself a disservice and compare your life to hers? Ask that God will allow that relationship, that courtship to flourish if it's his will. And while you're at it, ask him to take away that envious spirit that you know you have. Talking about some, oh, congrats, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking, that should have been me. Acknowledge your faults. Be so entirely real with yourself and with God. And ask him to help you to be content in every season, even if it weren't his will for you to get married right now. And lastly, number 7, don't beat yourself up. You're not ugly, you're not worthless. It's so easy to think, if this hasn't happened to me by this age or over this period of time, then it must be me. There must be something wrong with me. Now, it is important that we self-examine, as stated before, because well, there could be cases that it is true. Maybe there is an issue with you that the Most High needs you to see about yourself. But there are sisters out there who are putting in their bricks for the Most High God. You know, they're out there, they're studying and praying and applying, and they're still waiting on the Lord and his timing. Listen, we often talk about how Jacob had to wait for Rachel, right? And, you know, all praise to the Most High for that. But can you imagine how salty Leah must have felt? I mean, picture it. You have this man that's willing to work 7 years for your younger sister. Mind you, it wasn't even the custom for things to go that way. The younger sister was not to marry before the older one. Leah must have been having feelings of frustration, like, I bet she did. I bet she did. So we can choose to think like Rachel, and even if it might take 7 years or 14, or however long the Lord has set for us, we can know that ultimately he has our best interest at heart. Who else can know the desires of your heart but he who made it? Trust his timing, because your Father knows what's best. And that's all the tips that I have for you guys. Okay, I really hope that this video helps someone who might be struggling with feelings of envy or impatience. I know it's hard when you really want something and it just seems so far away, but guys, I promise you it's a beautiful thing to wait on the Lord. Wait on the Lord, be of good courage. He shall strengthen thine heart. Wait, I say, on the Lord. Shalom, y'all.